Hello, creators! Save the date for our 2024 Creator Circle Retreat happening September 23rd through 26th in Vancouver, Washington, United States. Registration is open, and the early bird deadline is March 15th. The 2024 Creator Circle Retreat will be 4 days of restoration and rejuvenation for yourself and your business, and you can find all of the details at wellnesscentercreators.com/retreats, where you can also click to apply. As always, feel free to email with questions anytime at kendall@wellnesscentercreators.com. And lastly, it's important to note that the retreat is limited to 20 people, and everyone from last year is getting ready to register again, so jump on it. As health and wellness providers, we know that better patient outcomes require a whole person, multidisciplinary approach that we just can't provide on our own. That's why I've started the Wellness Center Creators podcast. I'll be bringing you interviews with experts, tips, tricks, secrets, resources, systems, and solutions so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. And creating your wellness center won't feel like starting over. Many of you are familiar with the name, but if it's new to you, Jane is a HIPAA-compliant, all-in-one practice management software and the sponsor of our show today. The team at Jane know your time is valuable, and they've designed online intake forms to help you reduce admin work so that you can take back your treatment time. Whether you need to collect patient or client data, insurance policy information, health history, or consents, Jane's online intake forms offer a safe and secure way to gather everything you need before your patients walk through the door. You can also collect payment details securely through your intake form via Jane's PCI-compliant payment solution, saving your patients time at checkout. To learn more about how Jane's intake forms can help, head to jane.app/guide to book a one-on-one demo with a member of their team. If you're ready to get started, you can use the code WELLNESS1MO at the time of sign up to get a 1-month grace period applied to your new account. Welcome back, everyone, to the Wellness Center Creators podcast. Today on the show, I'm in the hot seat, and Coach Anna Rudel is going to be interviewing me today. So welcome, Anna, and I'll let you take it away.
Well, welcome back, everyone. As Kendall said, our guest today needs no introduction, but nevertheless, Kendall, welcome to the other side of the mic. Please reintroduce yourself and tell me a little bit about you.
Well, I'm Kendall Hagensen, and let's see where to begin. I think the short version is, if people haven't listened to the show before or they haven't interacted with Wellness Center Creators before, I am a somatic psychotherapist by trade and dance movement therapist. And I started a multidisciplinary healthcare clinic in 2016. It's called Vancouver Wellness Studio, and we're in Vancouver, Washington, United States. And, over the years, I started doing a lot of consulting and coaching just kind of organically as people wanted guidance when they were creating their wellness business or their wellness center. And during the pandemic, I started doing that more officially and started Wellness Center Creators, which kind of has grown into a team of coaches, which Anna is part of our Wellness Center Creators coaching team. And we provide coaching consultation for wellness business owners and healthcare providers who are wanting to create wellness centers and multidisciplinary practices and all the things. And that comes in different forms. So present day, I am overseeing my team here at VWS and helping to run our clinic and also doing the coaching thing.
Fabulous. And you're an inspiration, which is why I'm so happy to get you on the hot seat today, Kendall, because we've got many questions to ask you. The first, not least, did you have your lunch? It's 12:30.
It's 12:30. I ate lunch at 10:30.
At 10:30, and what did you have?
Chili.
Was it good?
It was delicious. My husband made it in the crock pot. And
Excellent.
my husband is a great cook, and it was yummy. And I eat pretty early.
Do you eat at 10:30 every day?
A lot of times when I'm at work, I do, because I eat breakfast. For those that care, I get up at 4:30 in the morning on purpose, and I eat breakfast usually at 6 a.m. So 10:30 is a good time after that to eat again.
And so when you're up at 4:30, what are you doing between 4:30 and 6?
Variety of things, mostly getting ready to go. So I have two little kids at home. They are 6 and, well, they're almost 6. Oldest one just turned 9, and the younger one will turn 6 in a month. And they get up pretty early, 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m. So it's important to me to have time to myself. And I've always been more of a morning person, having energy in the morning versus the evening. So I choose to get up before them so that I can have quiet to myself and get myself ready before assisting them, because they're still at ages where they're not, doing everything on their own to get ready for school.
Incredible. 4:30. Incredible. And what's your favorite sip of the day? Is it that first sip of coffee? Is it that?
Like, what? Is that a British thing? I love tea, and green tea in particular. And I drink tea every day, and I collect mugs, and it's a ritual for me. And that's a part of my everyday.
Not a coffee drinker then?
I've never been a coffee drinker. My body doesn't do well with caffeine, so I have always tended towards tea.
Me too, except that I need the coffee in the morning, but my favorite sip is the 3 p.m. cup of tea with milk, if you please. It's the only way to go. So, Kendall, I'm curious about your evolution as a practice / business owner. It's very unusual, I'd say, for practice owners to go about building their own business in a way that doesn't center them as a primary practitioner and therefore the primary income earner. Tell me more about that.
Yes. So for those who are first listeners on the podcast, a big part of my story, a big part of why I created Vancouver Wellness Studio, why I became a therapist, is because of my own health journey with illness, rather, which is, I think, pretty common for practitioners. But for those who don't know, I have lived with MS, multiple sclerosis, for many, many years, since 2006. So when I was visioning this practice and started creating it, I knew the smartest thing that I've ever done as a business owner is create this business to run without me from the beginning. And I didn't really realize from a business perspective how important that was at the time. I was doing it originally rather selfishly, but also so that patients could still receive care if I was sick and I couldn't provide it myself. So the original design of the clinic was so that it would be self-sustaining. And if I couldn't be there, if I needed to be out, the way that MS works with relapsing, remitting MS is that you have periods of exacerbation where the illness is, in a flare, and then you have periods of remission. And so at that time, especially, I was still at a point where my illness where I wasn't really sure of that pattern for myself and when I would have to take time away. And in the earlier years of having MS and having that experience and learning about, what that means for my body, it would be periods of time of relapse where, it might be 3 months where I wouldn't be have the capacity to work. And that's become different present day. But at the time, it felt really important that the clinic could run and be self-sustaining without me actually seeing clients and contributing revenue.
How did you learn that? Did it come from within? Did you read a book?
I did not read a book. Uh, I don't know that there was a book. I think from a young age, I have always been a very inquisitive person and just very vigilant and aware of human behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would watch other people going through hard things and notice how they were doing it and what worked and what didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was really through observation that I, when I was finally diagnosed, that I was in college, I was in my undergrad, and I was, taking way too many classes and doing the whole thing and trying to overachieve at all of it. And I learned that lesson for myself, I think, during that early period of I'm going to have to do my life differently than how I've done it until now, and I'm going to have to be more intentional about the way things are set up so that I can function and still, live in my passion and contribute to society and all of those things.
It's incredible. It's and so unusual to see that, because I think most of us find that we're you start off practicing for yourself, don't you? And then over time realize that it's unsustainable to be the primary income earner and to continue in the way that you're working. And so the way that you've set things up is the right way from the get-go, I would say. But do you feel like you've missed the opportunity to be that primary practitioner, or do you feel that you're giving
Not at
more?
All. Not at all. Well, so I had the gift of my diagnosis as a 20-year-old person. And before I went to graduate school and before I started my business. And so by the time I started my business, I had a bit of a better grasp on how I wanted to experience my own work life. And so while I set up the clinic to be self-sustaining, I also set up my own private practice, my own caseload at the same time that was separate. And which allowed that to be as flexible as it needed to. But I worked for 10 years as a therapist, and before I phased out of seeing therapy clients. And so, when I graduated from my master's, I was 6 weeks pregnant with my oldest daughter when I walked across the stage, and I didn't know I was pregnant with her yet. And so I had just gotten my degree, and we had planned to have her and we wanted to have her, but it happened sooner than we expected. But I started a private practice when I was pregnant, and it was very small. And then I had her and took a bit of time off, but I realized after I had her that I really, really wanted to work. And I wanted to build my practice, and I wanted to see clients, and I wanted to dive in and use the skill set that I had just gone to school and learned. So I have felt that I really, in those 10 years, I got to really fully experience that as a provider.
When you were envisaging Vancouver Wellness, did you envisage the center that you have today, or was it more of an organic growth?
Both. The original vision, I still have the vision board that I made during graduate school, and it has all these progressions of the business on it. And I'll look at it once a year, and it makes me so happy because the picture that I chose for our movements, to represent, I want to have a movement studio in my center. It looks almost exactly like the one we have. but I don't remember going back to that vision board to say, oh, I'm designing the studio after this, but it had just been imprinted. Like it's the same juxtaposition. It's the same layout. It's fun to look back and see the progression, but the original vision, I would say, is more present day, is really the full realization of that vision. In the beginning, VWS was structured as more of a collective or a collaborative, and everyone rented a room and they ran their own business, but we agreed to collaborate and we had ways of doing that. But I learned really, really quickly that I actually wanted a business and I wanted, a team of people who are working towards a common goal. And the collective wasn't that. And it worked really well in a lot of ways. And it was because it was the right people. But then there were huge gaps where we couldn't really fully provide this collaborative healthcare in the way that was envisioned because of the structure. So we began changing that structure after 6 months of being open, slowly but surely over the years. And present day, we're an all W-2 team.
Fantastic. How many are on your team total?
We have, there's about 18 right now, I believe.
Is that including admin staff as well? Or is that 18 practitioners?
Yeah, that includes me. That includes me
Okay.
and our admin and I think 16 employees.
Okay. And now you have a team to manage different aspects of your business. Can you talk us through that?
Sure. So we have a leadership team. And so there's a core leadership team. Myself, I'm the clinical director of our healthcare location. We have a second location that is an integrative spa location. And so our spa director is also part of the leadership team. And then we have a medical director. And so there's 3 of us who are core leadership. And then we have team leads who are an extension of our leadership team. And they are helping to support and sustain and grow their modalities, kind of like their departments. So acupuncture team lead, massage team lead, mental health team lead, naturopathic team lead, who also happens to be the medical director. So lots of kind of dual roles and different hats, as is the nature of small businesses. And then we have an office manager at our healthcare location who's at the front desk and then has other duties as well. We have a wellness concierge at our front desk at our spa location. We have a marketing coordinator, an executive assistant, who does a lot of things. And then we contract out and hire out for other support, things like website and attorneys and CPA and all those things. But that's our team in-house.
The mind boggles, Kendall, when you talk about the locations and the numbers of teams and the leads and the numbers of meetings you have. How many days of work a week is a healthy goal, Kendall, for you, given what you've got going on? How many working days a week is the goal?
Listen, I'm going to be honest with everyone. Here's the deal. I come to my office 3 days a week. And that's very consistent. I really only come to my office 3 days a week. I work a lot from home. I don't see clients from home, coaching clients typically, but I do a lot of back-end stuff from home, a lot of emails, and am available for support and those types of things. But I come to my office 3 days a week.
All right. I think that that's very reasonable, to be honest.
I think it's very reasonable for keeping things running. But yeah, I work a lot of hours. If I really kept track of the hours, it would be a lot.
Yeah. I know we've talked about it because Kendall is my coach, and we've talked about it where I have said that office days tend to be much less productive because I spend my entire time flitting around talking to people. And it's taken Kendall to point out that actually that is the work in those moments and making those
Absolutely.
connections. Do you find the same thing, or do you buckle down during your 3 days at the office?
Well, in my 3 days at the office, I do have a lot of meetings and with my staff and
Mm.
also sessions with coaching clients. But I do prioritize having blocks that I don't have a meeting or a session where I can have my door open to support our team. But I meet every week with our leadership team. I meet every week with our marketing coordinator, and I meet individually with our other director. And so it's a lot of interaction supporting staff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I find it's very important to, as owners, depending on your goal of what you want your role to be in the company. But if your role is to be leading your team, it's important to physically be there.
Mm. It's an interesting thing, isn't it? Because one of the things I've battled with over the years is loneliness as an owner. We get to create this beautiful thing, but in many ways we don't get to enjoy it in the same way as our crew do. Do you experience that? And if so, how do you fill your cup?
Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely experienced that over the years. There are many people who would say that my leadership style and the structure of our team and how we do things is unorthodox, and it's not how they've experienced it at other places. And that's on purpose, and that comes with a light and a shadow. My style of leading is transparent and vulnerable. It's still professional. I try to kind of walk that line. But it's important to me to have real human relationships with our whole team, and
Mm.
not in an inappropriate way of employer and employee, but just actually knowing that person and
Mm-hmm.
caring about that person.
But it is kind of one way sometimes, isn't it, as
It's
an
one way a
owner?
lot of times.
Mm.
It's one way a lot of times. And that's it. I remind myself often that, I've chosen this path, and it's really a privilege to be in this role and lead the team and to step back and witness. I like to just kind of watch patients come out of treatment rooms. It's
Mm.
the best thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
And to just kind of sit back and see what we've created and what these amazing providers are doing every day to impact people's lives. And so that helps fill my cup. Wellness Center Creators is, it was at the time, I felt like I was going, when I was creating it originally, I was going towards something that people were asking for. And so at that point, it was like, okay, they need help and they're asking for it. I'm going to help them. And then I realized quickly, like, oh, this is also what I need. This is a
Mm.
community of
Mm-hmm.
clinic owners. And, you and I were both facilitating at the Creator Circle retreat that we put on in
Mm.
this past September. And when the retreat was over, I mean, I would realize it during it. It was 3 days. At the end of the last day, I remember feeling like, oh man, I want to do this all the time.
Really?
And part of it was to be in a room with all owners,
Yeah.
like, 20 people that wanted to be there. They
Yeah.
chose this.
Mm.
They wanted to participate in every part of it,
Mm. It
right?
was powerful.
It was powerful. Everyone was on time,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right?
And
For
on for the whole time.
for each part of it. It was
Mm-hmm.
like, we take a break, be back at this time. Everyone's there, ready to learn, right? That's a different energy than a team of employees. And it's not negative towards employees.
Mm.
It's just that it's a different energy, right? If
Well, and it's
employees,
a
well,
different experience, isn't it?
it's a totally different experience. And so that's my community, right? As an owner. is like, yeah, I find community with providers because I'm still a provider at heart. And, I connect with other providers, but it's a different community to be with owners because it gets lonely there. We take on a lot of, what's the right word, Anna?
We have to hold a lot of space.
We hold a lot of space. We hold a lot of things that aren't really ours, right? But that are coming towards us. And we just have to hold it and let it go. And there are certain things, that we don't share with our team because it's not their stress to hold or whatever it is. So to answer your question in a very long-winded way, yes, of course I get lonely.
Yeah. I mean, it's part of the experience, isn't it? But again, I think it's something that always surprises me and is a challenge in owning a business.
And that's part of why I advocate for coaches for all of us. And I have my own coach that I work with very regularly. And we all need someone in our corner. We all need a cheerleader and that guide to bounce things off of and help us make sure we're feeling in alignment.
Yeah. And I think the consistency is also key in having a coach, having that same person that you're accountable to and that holds your best interest at heart. There's nothing else going on in that situation. They're there for you, which I really appreciate.
Thank you for joining us for part 1 of Anna Interviews Kendall. Join us next week for part 2. See you there. Thanks so much for listening to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Please visit our website at wellnesscentercreators.com for more show notes and additional episodes. By the way, I love hearing from listeners. Please send me an email at Kendall, Kendall, at wellnesscentercreators.com with your feedback. And if you send me a question, maybe I'll read it on the show, anonymously, of course. Thanks so much again for listening, and we'll catch you next time on the Wellness Center Creators Podcast.